War Stories is one of the later episodes, and so by this point there's a few ties with events from earlier ones, but nothing vital to it. Well, except for one thing, which is admittedly the crux of the episode, but doing it this way without the previous ones allows me to criticize Fox's airing of episodes out of order. Yes, indeed, that is definitely the reason, and absolutely not because I mixed this one up with another episode that didn't require context. Things kick off with Shepard and Simon chatting.
Did you ever read the works of Shan Yu?
Shan Yu, the psychotic dictator?
Wow, it's been a while since I saw Mulan, but I don't remember the bad guy being that evil. Shepard shares one of the quotes, essentially that you can live with someone and think you know them intimately, but it's not until you've tied them up and held them over the lip of a volcano before you finally see who they really are. The subject comes up because they're looking over data about River's condition. Shepard wonders if that might be what they were doing, pushing her in the hopes of understanding her. But Simon thinks they had an agenda with what they were doing. But that conversation nicely sets up what we see happening on the other side of this world that they're orbiting. This station is the home of Niska, who is a sociopath and sadist, which makes him the kind of enemy that you do not want. He once hired the Serenity crew for a job that didn't end well for him, which makes him your enemy naturally. Right now he's finishing up preliminary stages of doing something to a minion that was skimming from his protection money, but that was the business part of the torture. Now it's the personal part. And you always have to like that personal touch. He's getting this twisted sort of enjoyment from the whole thing while referencing Shan Yu by saying that now they're going to get to know the real version of the man. As Simon had put it, sadistic crap legitimized by florid prose. Likewise, Niska is an inhuman barbarian who wraps himself in the veneer of a philosopher. The tiny glasses probably help complement that lifestyle. After the titles, as Kaylee chases River around playfully for swiping her apple, out here fresh fruit is a rare luxury, and Jane picked up a crate for all of them. Mal's asking to meet one of Inara's clients who's coming aboard Serenity for business. Mal's just not comfortable letting anyone on the ship without meeting them, and Inara would probably not expose her clients to the rough-around-the-edges Mal and his insane crew.
No power in the verse can stop me.
Oh, solo mio. Sorry, wrong kind of verse. Zoe's cutting her apple up and when asked tells a story about her and Mal during the war, stuck in a trench opposite the enemy where, rather than trading bullets, they traded insults because they were low on supplies. The enemy started tossing apples into the trench, and before Mal could stop them, some of the soldiers start eating the apples, people who apparently had never heard of Snow White. There were tiny grenades inside them that go off under pressure, and let's just say that these apples did indeed keep the doctor away, because there is no treatment for not having a head. That touching subject out of the way, Wash is soon frustrated that Mal isn't going along with his plan for the medical supplies that they're unloading right now, to sell directly to the hospitals and doctors rather than to middlemen. Wash reasons that they'd clean up and ensure the supplies got to where they would do the most good. Mal reasons they'll piss off the middlemen and create new enemies when there's already standing room only in the waiting room for kick the Serenity crew in the nuts. But what bugs Wash is that Zoe lied to him about it, claiming that she hadn't told Mal it yet when she had. He rejected it, and she immediately acquiesced. There's a lot of conflict here about that being the norm in their marriage.
Right. Because what this marriage needs is one more shouting match.
No, what this marriage needs is one less husband.
Elsewhere, Simon's trying to care for River. The new treatment is helping her feel more like she's normal instead of a geomancer in the midst of a peyote haze. But while they're working to get her through that, Inara's client has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox is proud to present Lesbians.
I'll be in my bunk.
Speaking of jerk-offs, Wash has decided to disable the shuttle so that nobody else but him can fly it. This way, he can insist that he go along on this job instead of Zoe, and they go along with that because Zoe probably knows Wash needs this, and Mal just wants to get the damn thing done. It's not like it's that big of a deal.
So, are we gonna sing army songs or something?
Might be an annoying deal, but not a big deal. As they head off, we get an interlude with more girl-on-girl action.
And the fact is, I occasionally have the exact same need you do. One cannot always be oneself in the company of men.
Like burping and farting, is that what you mean? On the way to the job, Mal explains that he's only going along with this because it's an easy mission, but it's Zoe's job to come along in case there's trouble.
Well, what happens if we get into a situation here?
Hey, I've been in a firefight before.
Well, I was in a fire. Actually, I was fired from a fry cook opportunity.
It was their loss. The ship wound up settling for a hedgehog as their fry cook. They make the delivery, but it's interrupted by the arrival of everyone's least favorite party crashers, snipers. They take out the buyers and capture Mal and Wash, while back at the ship, Anara is saying goodbye to her client while the view is being enjoyed.
I'll be in my bunk.
Guess this is bringing a whole new meaning to Fun with Dick and Jane. It's interrupted by Zoe grabbing him. To help look, I mean. Her marriage is complicated enough as it is. And Shepard insists on joining them to try to help. The supplies are there, the dead guys are there, but no Mal and Wash. But they do spot a trail showing a fast burn rocket more likely found on space stations, like the one Niska has. The two are dropped blindfolded into some room on board where Wash is not handling this with the same degree of professionalism that Zoe would have, and soon is ranting about the way Mal's business interferes with his marriage.
Okay. I mean, I'm the one that she swore to love, honor, and obey.
Listen, she swore to obey?
Well, no.
Yeah, most go with the cherished these days, but as far as I'm concerned, the vow should have just replaced obey with make a reasonable effort to cooperate. That'd fix a few marriages at least if people adhered to that.
But you're making out like she blindly follows my every word. That ain't true. Sure it is. Not so. There's plenty orders of mine that she didn't obey. Name one. She married you.
This therapy session is interrupted by the arrival of Niska, and soon they're being subjected to electroshock torture. Mal takes this opportunity to argue with Wash about his marriage to Zoe.
Know what I think? What? What, Wash? What do you think? Because I'm interested.
This policy you got against shipboard relationships. That's just you projecting your own intimacy issues on everyone else.
If this were Montel Williams and Dr. Phil, I might actually start watching them. Well, the woman in question is arriving. She collected money from everyone to buy them back from Niska. Oh, by the way, in case anyone's getting irritated by this, they pronounce it that way and Nishka this episode, so since they did both, I went with the one closer to the spelling. But anyway, he's not sure that 5 times what the job did was really worth this to him, not compared to his reputation as a space Nazi crime boss.
But sufficient perhaps for one. You now have...
Tim. I'm sorry. You're going to ask me to choose, right?
Well, 0.1 for Cherish, I guess. Well, Niska is a bit disappointed. He didn't get to savor the tortured choice thing, so he adds that the money's a little more than one man is worth, and so gives her Mal's ear as well. Now he can start doing post-impressionist paintings.